Super excited. Just kidding. Been in this business since '05 and been on a great journey. KW's absolutely changed my life, and I have the honor to partner with Gary and Nikki. And through KWR, I'm the operating partner, which means the decision maker in the franchise. I stepping into this organization has brought me so much joy. I've met so many wonderful people. Most of you I've sat with. If I haven't met you yet, come up and let's meet after the meeting. Come say hi, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you, and welcome to our new people that are with us. Glad to have you here. There's a lot of, even in KW, a lot of different offices to choose from. Make a great group. So today, how do you answer the question, how's the market? Someone says, yeah, how's the market? What do you usually say? What do most agents say?
It depends what you ask.
Yeah, okay, that's a great one, right? That's a great one. We're gonna dig into a number of different things. I want you to lead today with a number of key points that you can take away, tools you can use to get more business and answer those tough questions. So here's what we're gonna cover. Today, we're gonna talk about what's going on in the market. This is different than what you saw last week. We're gonna dig into actual words to say, if you're at a listing appointment this weekend, and that person's trying to price the property incorrectly, you're gonna lead with how to use the data and actually say something with it, what you actually say. I'm gonna give you tips on how to set things up where if they don't agree in the front end, how you get price reductions later. Has anybody ever had a buyer where you submit an offer and they keep going in low, keep going in low, and it's not getting accepted, not getting accepted? Does that happen?
Yes.
Right? Okay, well, by the end of today, you're gonna be able to know what you can do to get that offer accepted. I'm gonna give you a tool that you can submit with your offer that will help you guide that listing agent to get your offer accepted. So let's jump in. There's more than that here, and I'm gonna show you. Let's go ahead and jump in. You're gonna need a pencil, piece of paper, or notes on your phone. If somebody needs a piece of paper, you know, we can probably give you one, but you'll definitely need something to take notes with. And we'll send out screenshots later. All right, there's no shortage of information. What there's a lack of is interpretation. Your clients can look anywhere and see data. They need us to interpret it. How many agents do most people know? Right. And yet, when they think of an agent, who do you want them to think of? They want you to think of you, right? Of your name. So when you think of bleach, what do you think of? Clorox. When you think of tissue paper, what do you think of? It's like you want to be that in your client's mind, because everybody knows 3 or 4 or 5 agents. So we've got to be able to articulate the words that separates you from the rest of the pack. Everybody knows 5 or 6 agents. What makes you different, right? So I want you to be the local economist of choice, the professional in your field. Okay. So we'll start off with this. What happens every 4 years in November that often could affect potentially real estate market? Right? Yes, right. This. Okay. And there are people, and if you haven't had it yet, that might say, oh, I'm gonna wait. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen. Let me see how this all shakes out. So this is where you'll start to need that paper and have some data that you'll need to help you. So what effect does an election typically have on a real estate market? As a real estate professional, isn't that something that you probably know? Right? Well, what you leaving today, knowing, I posted onto it, knowing exactly what happens. Take a look, very minimal. I'm gonna give you tools. If you walk in saying, I feel, you've lost. What I want you to walk in saying, the data shows this. Even if you're not a data person, just have a couple pieces so you can show them something, right, to give you credibility in what you're saying. Okay. All right, so this is a great source for you as an agent. KCM, Keeping Current Matters, great resource. Who likes free? Just me? I like free. You get a ton of information for free on this. Hey, how's that, right? It's free. Now, if you want it branded, I think they charge a nominal fee, $5, $10, $50 a month, but you can get all kinds of free content that you can repost and use over and over again. Great stuff. One of the articles they had recently. So what's the impact of the elections on the housing? We're going to send out, if we can, Amber, a PDF copy of this slideshow later, and you'll be it's a clickable link, so you'll actually be able to click on this link later. That way you have it, save it, use it. Okay. So here's this. I'm not going to read all this on the screen. I'm giving you the key points. Okay. Typically, presidential elections have only had a small temporary impact, if anything at all, on the housing market. What are the 3 things that people are wondering about? Let's look at first home sales. In the month leading up to a presidential election, so October to November, which is right now, okay, there's typically a slight slowdown in home sales. This is what the home sales, the number of homes sold, because people are like, hey, wait a minute, you see it, I'm a little nervous, right? In non-election years, that drop typically, there's always a drop from October, typically from October to November. It's typically 9.8%. From October to November, the number of home sales dropped 9.8%. What happens in an election year is 15. So 6% less homes sell from October, November than normal because of the elections, okay? But then someone really typically wonders, well, what happened shortly thereafter? In all but 2 year after elections, over the past, since 1980, which direction home sales go the following year? Up. Who's that good for? Yeah, everybody in this room for sure. There's more opportunities next year. So the good news is if you've been struggling a little bit and you have experienced a little bit of a slowdown, typically 9 times out of 10, I think there's 10 on here or more, it's actually been an increase next year. So we should, and a lot of other data are pointing to the same direction, see an increase in sales next year. So home sales. What's the other thing people are worried about? Why might they want to wait to buy a house?
Interest rates?
Interest rates, what else? Yep, inflation, what else? Prices. So, okay, so here's the next one. And this is data from NAR and from HUD, right? 7 out of the last 8 presidential elections, home prices increased. 7 out of the past 8. What's the one that they didn't increase in? Did anybody see it? What year was that? Yeah, what happened then? Yeah, housing crash. What industry caused that? Yeah, chance.
I'm trying to make it, make it better now.
Thank you, get directing.
I'm talking to that right now, so.
We appreciate you and that insight you have. So here's the reality. Back then, you could fog a mirror, you could get a loan. I remember helping somebody stated income, stated asset, buying a almost $500,000 house, found out later they made $15 an hour, right? The loan didn't go through. They weren't talking with my lender, right? But we found out early enough on, but the story could have been much different for them. No wonder we got into financial trouble like this, you know? You can fog a mirror, you can get a loan, you can state whatever income you have, you don't have to provide documentation, and then you have no equity in the house, 100% financing, and if prices slip a little bit, what are they gonna do? Right? That's what they did. This is not 2008, right? So all that they've corrected, or we learned hopefully from all of that, here's what that looks like. Prices have gone up, every single one of those except for 2008. So they can have a little peace of mind knowing like, hey, prices typically, we don't have a crystal ball, but typically they go up. Data shows they typically go up from HUD, from NAR, okay? The next one, people are wondering, well, what about mortgage rates? So this says, what typically happens to mortgage rates coming up to the election? So we've seen it right now, the interest rates dropped a little bit, unfortunately, what's happened here lately?
They've gone up.
They've gone back up. Now, big data, what happens tomorrow? That might affect interest rates. Yeah, all the reports are coming out. It's not just jobs this time, it's the other economic factors too we're gonna hear about. So stay tuned, we'll see what happens, And here's a side note on prices. If someone's overly worried about what might happen in the 12 months that the next 12 months with a price on a property, they have the wrong perspective on it. Does someone typically move within 12 months? After they buy a house? No, they're in the house 5, 7, 8, 9 years, right? And if you look at, I didn't bring this chart today, I have another one, but if you look at any given, 5 to 7 year period, prices have gone up, except for one, and when was that? 2008, right? But outside of that, they've gone up. So, so keep that in mind. All right. So that's the article I wanted to show you. So bottom line, while presidential elections do have some impact on the housing market, it's actually usually minimal to none. And this is real data from HUD, from NAR, track me, and you'll have this article. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So now, real estate's local. That's national. Is real estate local?
Yes.
It absolutely is. We need to be the what economist of choice? The local economist of choice. What's going on here? So I'm going to show you a couple things that Jeremy showed you last week in Chartmasters, but I'm going to equip you with the words to say when you're having conversations with your clients, right? So, first off, way to go KW. This is a chart. If you're ever sitting with someone, they're trying to decide, who they're going to use, and they hear somebody, here's how you use this. This shows KW sells more homes than anybody. Okay. Next closest one, Remax, Charles Rutherford, Coldwell Banker. We sell double. If you put Charles and Coldwell Banker together, we sell the same number of houses, right? You see what I mean? Now, how can you use this in a humble way? Don't walk in and say, we're the biggest and the best, and you should hire us. How could you say this in a humble way that would be meaningful to them? Someone take a stab at it? Yeah.
We are the biggest because we're the best.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That can work. Yeah. Okay, what else? That's right.
Also, it's a network. Help sell their home or get out market listings or just, the inside.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that works too. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
We put more people at home in the house.
Absolutely, yeah, great, well said. All of these, so well said. Yes,
Keller Williams backs agents with the best resources and tools to get the job done.
and the numbers show that, right? Because of that, you're gonna, if you want to have the best chance possible with a company and the agents that are selling more homes than anyone else, hire us, right? And that's true, these are real numbers. A lot of times, companies will take data and put their own spin on it to make it look right. This is exported directly from the MLS. Chartmasters, Jeremy, directly exports all of the data and imports it. This is what he creates. So this isn't twisted. This is the actual numbers. Okay, real numbers, real data. Okay. All right, so here's one that will make your eyes cross. I'm gonna give you how to use this. If you're gonna print up one piece of paper and take it on a buyer console or a listing console, I'm gonna give you this one. Would be a great one. I'm thinking one, this would be one of them to have. Here's what this means. If you're sitting in a listing appointment this weekend, okay, and you're talking with that seller, and they're talking about putting their house up on the market, they're talking about pricing the property, these are the types of things you want to be able to say. Mr. and Ms. Seller, if we price the home right, this is what the data is showing us. If we price the home right, the ones that don't have to reduce the price are selling in 9 days and they're bringing right around full list price. If we don't price it right, the homes that aren't being priced right, it's taking them 73 days and they're getting 91.8% of list price. And what I want you to do is I want you to look down the street. I want you to look at 3 homes down the street. 1 out of those 3 is not going to sell. The reality is 38.7% of the homes that go up for sale right now are not selling. And my job is to get your home sold, right? You want that too, right? Get the home sold. Okay. So here's the other reality of it. 55% of the homes that you see that go up for sale are having to reduce the price. You guys are seeing it, right? As agents, the homes are sitting in the market. They're not selling 55%. So to recap that, right now, we'll know within how long if the home's priced right. How many days? 9 days. Okay, so you don't need to wait 60 days, 90 days to make a price reduction. You're going to know within 9 days. The data is showing within 9 days, we'll know if we have it priced right. Okay, and is a $5,000 adjustment on a $400,000 house going to sell it? It's going to. The ones that have to reduce the price are selling for 91.8%. On a $400,000 house, how far off is that? What's 8% of 400? 32?
32.
Yeah, so that's like 360 something, 8. Yeah. Like so that $5,000 adjustment isn't going to do it. You guys follow this so far?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's walk through this a little bit. And what the rest of this says is there's 3.9 months of inventory on the market. What's a balanced market? How many months? 6, roughly 6. Meaning, what does that mean? If not another home went up for sale and they sold at the same rate they're selling right now, they'd all be gone in 3.9 months. That's what that means. Okay. So not quite into a seller's market, but there are some price ranges. I'm sorry, we are in a seller's market. There are some price ranges we're in a buyer's market. What price ranges are those? I know it's kind of hard to see. Once we get above $1 million right now, it's a buyer's market. So if you're wondering why is my $1 million+ property not sold yet, this is showing us why. It's turned into a buyer's market in that price range. Okay. All right. That's a snapshot in time. So this is what happened in September. This is is that good? Is that bad? You know, let's put perspective on this. Let me give you a little perspective. 2019, typically a more normal market. What percentage of the homes didn't sell? About a third, about 33, 34%. We're a little above that. Why? Because they're not doing what right? Pricing. They're not pricing it right. Right now, we've got to price the homes right. And you have someone that actually knows how to price homes really well and value them, Cheryl. She's been a certified appraiser for how long? 20 years. Please teach a class.
I know, I love to teach a class.
Yeah.
You guys come, I love to teach a class.
For years, for probably almost 10 years, it's like if you stick a price on a house, if you keep it long enough, it'll eventually sell at that price. We're not there anymore. We're in more of a more balanced market now, where it's not priced right now and may not sell in your listing period. So pricing is so key right now. Okay, so let's role play a $400,000 house. So let's say you got, I know it's kind of hard to see, you get a $400,000 house. Right now, if we price it right, it actually is 9 days. For some of these other ones, say 14 or 12, but it was sold within 9 days. If it didn't sell within 9 days on that $400,000 property, it will sell for ultimately about 91.1% of list price and take. I'm sorry, 93.2% of list price, it takes 62 days. So if you're adjusting that, when should you show this chart to a seller? Up front, write this down. Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentment. Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentment. How does that apply here? Pretty easy. If we don't talk about this up front, and then we come back later and say, hey, Mr. Seller, you need to adjust the price to get this home sold. We're like, hey, you told me that it was gonna sell at this house, I mean, this price, and I just don't think we've had the right person come through. What marketing are you gonna do for me today? You see what I mean? Okay, where again, unspoken expectations or premeditated resentment. Instead, why not show this up front? Say, hey, just want to let you know, the market's changing. Every day the market's changing, right? Here's where we're at right now. We're gonna know within 9 days if we got it right. Based on the comps that are sold recently, this is what the market's telling us. And we will know within 9 days if we have it right or wrong. If we have it wrong on your $400,000 property, on average in this price range, they will sell for 93% of the list price. Okay, and my job is to get this home sold for you as quickly as possible. Here's the things I'm gonna do to make that happen. Ultimately, it's up to the market. It's not the seller, it's not the agent, it's the buyer in the market that determines what the price is. Let's walk through what that looks like together, shall we? Does that make sense? Got that? Okay, now, fast forward a little bit. I want to look at a trend. That's yes, question.
Where can we find the last slide you had on?
We're gonna send it out to you. We're gonna send it out.
Isn't it already out, Amber?
And I think it's in our Google Drive folder.
Yes, all of the charts that Jeremy used last week, which are some of the things that Aubrey is using, are in that content library that everybody has access to. I showed that to you yesterday, Matt, and then we'll send out the team meeting slides specifically after the meeting. They'll be posted in our office Facebook group with the recording.
Thank you. We're just doing a handful.
Hey, I have a quick comment too. When we looked at our reports from last month, interesting fact. 9 days on the market also got us full price.
It did.
So we're seeing that 9 be a stable number regardless of what's happening.
Yeah.
If the home is priced right.
And it depends on which price range you're in, but that
Correct.
is the median. And guys, just so you know, so you're comparing apples to apples. Is the condo market different than single family detached? Yeah. This is separated. What I'm talking about today is single family detached. Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough. Those are the 3 counties we're looking at. So single family detached, Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough, not including condos and villas. Those charts are in there too. So you can find the exact same chart for a condo if you have a condo or a villa listing appointment. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Now, what's going on? Is this going up? Is this going down? That was a snapshot. How are these looking? If you're looking at new listings were down last month. What happened last month?
Hurricane.
Yeah, so I'm not too surprised about that, right? We'll see what happens moving forward, but I know you can't see it really well. Overall, it's actually trending down a little bit. It went to a peak. We're up 44%. I think it's on the next slide in inventory in those 3 counties, single family detached, right? What's the basic rule of economics on determining price? It's supply and demand, right? If we have way too many to choose from, way more than what's needed, right? Then way more than prices could go down, right? The opposite's also true. If we have everybody wants to buy a home and not enough, then prices go up. Makes sense? But there's also a happy median. That's what we talk about. Once a supply, things like that. Okay. So what's happening? Overall, inventory is actually going down a little bit, which is good for pricing, right? Okay. All right. So next one up, active listing slipped a little bit last month because of that. Pending ratio, it peaked a little while back, went down, but it's kind of leveled out. So we may see kind of a level number of homes selling for a few months. See what I mean? And if the inventory starts to go down, come the spring market, prices may start jumping up again. Now, again, don't make promises to anybody, but that's the rule of economics. Make sense? Okay. What else? Let me show you the next one. Okay, this again is a snapshot. So this looks at September last year versus September this year. September last year versus September this year. New listings is we actually have a little bit less this year than we did last year. New listings hitting the market in September. Remember, we had hurricanes that were hitting, so that's probably why that happened in that particular month. But overall, the number of active is up 44%. What kind of news gets headlines? Good news or bad news?
Bad news.
They're not in the news business. They're in the eyeballs business. right? Because the more people that look and click or read or buy, right, the more money they make. So that's why you don't see the stories about all the nice people walking with the nice old ladies across the street. You know what I mean? Instead, you hear about all the bad stuff that happens in the world, and that gets the eyeballs, okay? So at a snapshot, this is so important for you guys to know, because your clients will see the media. This is what the media could say. Actives up 44%, closed sales down 17%, and prices are falling, because the median sales price is down a whopping, who can see that? 1%, right? But at a headline, that looks really bad, right? Do you see what I mean? That's why it's so important to look at trends and understand where the market's going. That's why you have those two, okay? All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so this says percentage of original list price received by by seller. So right now, we're getting on average 95.9% of list price, 95.9% of list price. It's different for different price ranges. Again, we're sending this out later. I'm gonna walk you through a journey on a conversation with a client, okay? So this is what this looks like. If we have to reduce the price, and right now 52% of them are reducing the price, it shows which price ranges have to reduce them more than others. If we have to reduce the price and you're meeting with the seller, and you say, Mr. and Ms. Seller, we've been on the market for, let's say, 30 days now, and the home's not under contract, the market's telling us that we're not priced correctly for the buyers to buy this home. And if we want to get it sold, here's what the market's telling us. On your $500,000 house, the price reduction taken to get this home sold right now, our current market, this one is quarterly, so it's a 3-month average. It's 5.2% less than what we're currently listed at. So on a $500,000 property, what kind of adjustment is that? What's 5% of 500? 25,000. And I've sat there at the kitchen table with the seller saying, well, listen, we're on the phone, really. Let's adjust it 5,000. That's what the seller says. That'll get him in here. What is this telling us? That's not going to do it. We're spinning our wheels. It needs to be 25. And then they'll say, okay, fine, I'll adjust it, but I'm not negotiating, right? I'll adjust to that price, but somebody better pay me that exact price. Again, unspoken expectations, just premeditated resentment. Have this conversation now. So when you're talking about price reduction, so the market's telling us we should adjust 5.2%, and it's also telling us once we adjust on our $500,000 price, we can expect somewhere around 98.2% of that adjusted price. You see the power in that, right? You're setting the expectations up front. So we're going from 500 to 475. And we can expect it to sell about within 2% of that number roughly. Make sense? Okay. Now they know what to expect. Ultimately, whose decision is it to reduce the price? It's theirs. We're just there to interpret the data and let them make a decision. And even tell them, look, if we want to wait and see what happens, it's completely up to you. You know, I'm with you. And what the market's telling us is if we want to sell it, this is what needs to happen. So what's important? Either way, I'll let them make that decision. Okay, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty. You as an agent control the market. No, you don't feel like it's your fault if something didn't sell. Like, makes sense? We're just relaying the information. Okay.
I have a 975,000 that live in American. She's 76 and her husband's 84 and his dementia. She's like, and we listed the week. She's like, why is it so gentle? And she makes me like, hold up. We have two listings, what, like, and it's just everything about showing like this.
And you give them this, right?
Yeah,
Anxiety. This is anxiety, right? As an agent, do we feel that sometimes?
Yeah, and Ruth's 19 years old, and I went to the show in Dallas Monday, and I went, and the people heard me right when I did it, and they looked, but I looked at, no, there's 2 movies. I'm like 2 movies going on. Like, it's just everything that happened.
And again, we don't control that. And it's easy to say that. I know as we're doing it, we still feel that anxiety, you know, just help them, guide them through it. We're a guide for them. That's what we are.
I broke a squeeze ball. I wanted you to know this, and the beads everywhere. I'm like, that's how, like, what I was talking to her. I'm like, oh my God.
There's this, it's if you haven't been to the site, go to it. It's called Lighter Side of Real Estate. And it has this picture of this, I don't know, probably 80-year-old woman, you know, wrinkled and everything. And it says, she's a real estate agent. It says, I'm 38, I feel great. Because it can't cause anxiety. Do our best to realize we're just portraying what's going on in the market, navigating the you know, fair decision. All right, quick tips. I'll give you a few quick tips as you're going through this. This one is build your price reductions into your special stipulations. So let's say you're at that listing appointment this weekend and the market's telling them they need to be priced at $500,000. And they're really saying, well, I just want to try 525, right? And they just won't budge on that. You show them all the data, you get to make a business decision. Do you want to take it or not? Here would be my suggestion, right? Is that you show them, hey, we'll know within 9 days if we got it right. Based on this price range in this area, 500,000 was actually 14 days. We'll know within 14 days if we got this price right, right? So I am willing to take the listing at 525 under one understanding. If you will agree to put this in the special stipulations, all parties agree that if this property is not under contract by the 15th of November, the price will be automatically adjusted to $500,000. I'll do the same marketing right now at 525. I'll get the word out there and we will know the market's telling us within 14 days whether or not we got it right. So I'm happy to go because I only win when you win, right? You don't know anything until it closes. My goal is to get the home sold. And this is what the market's telling us. That makes sense?
Yes.
Put that, because people ever have amnesia?
Yes.
You call them a few weeks later, you know, like, I don't remember talking about that. I don't think we should do that, you know, or the right buyer just hadn't come through yet. Or maybe you could go market it a little differently. Or I don't think that angle on that picture of the lighting was quite right. That's not what it is, right? Price. Okay, got it? Helpful? Put that, I can't tell you how many homes, how many conversations, and how much lower my stress level was. Because now I just reach out to them and say, you know, here's the updated marketing, so we adjusted the price today, and I'm expecting to go under contract soon. And my clock doesn't start ticking on days on market until we get to the price the market can tell us we can put that. I would say this way, but don't call me every stinking day wondering why your home is we priced it 25 grand over what I told you priced it. That's what my internal talk says, right? Yes.
In the insert date, so based on the charts, you would put the, like 90s later.
I do a little more than that. I might do 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Maybe even 30 days, you know, but I wouldn't go very long. You know, 2 to 3 weeks would be a good number to get in there. Yeah, and show them the data up front. Say, this is the real numbers. This is why we're picking that number of days. Right. Yes.
On the days, mine has shrunk over time because with technology being what it is, all the current buyers for the property, I've seen it in 4 or 5 days, just because and everybody's looking and seeing it. So at that point, you're saying, okay, are we priced right? Are we getting it right under selling? And if we're not, then we need to start having that conversation about reducing. So
For me, I wouldn't go past like 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is a good number, you know? And the success you see over the next 12 months as the market's kind of leveled out is going to be directly correlated to the number of price reductions you're able to get. Remember that.
back to that model.
Yes, back to that model. A lot of them have been there, you know? Okay, so here's another visual for somebody's visual. Out of 100 listings that go up on the market, 100 listings, 66 will fail. 66 of them will sell, okay? Out of 100, this is the quarterly, 66 will sell, okay? Now, 31 of the 100 didn't have to reduce the price. They sold in, you know, nine days and got 100% of ask price, okay? And the other 35 of them that sold had to reduce the price and they sold for 91.9%, okay? Now, on the failed side, 34 didn't sell at all. And if you look at this, 34 that didn't sell, but 35 of the that had to reduce the price, that group was overpriced. So if you look at 100 homes on the market, 69 of them are overpriced right now. 100 homes, 69 are overpriced, 34 won't sell at all, they'll expire. 35 of them will reduce the price and ultimately sell. Guys catch that? 69 out of 100 homes, 69% of the homes that hit the market next week are going to be overpriced. Which category do you want to be in? The overpriced that gets frustrated, potentially expires, or the ones that get the home sold and get the closing to happen, have some happy people? You want to be on this side. So use these charts, this data, with the conversations we're talking about in this room to help you get there. Okay, is this helpful so far? Good. Yes.
So why are almost 3/4 of all homes overpriced then?
Great question. What do you guys think? Are they overpriced?
Sellers think their homes are worth more, and
Right.
they don't want any money on the table.
There's some stuff that, like, that's high.
Well, I heard my neighbor around the corner sold in 3 days at 110% of list price. You know, I want you to do the same thing.
When was
It
that?
it goes
3
one
years.
step further, though, right?
Already?
Doesn't it? It's about educating the seller on what they need to do in order to get their home sold. And I think in the absence of that value, it's our responsibility to convey that. Ultimately, it's their choice, but numbers don't lie. So what are they saying no to when you're giving them an idea of where they need to be priced? If they say no, that means they're saying yes to one of these two things, either not selling or sitting on the market and having to reduce and sell for 91.9%.
Right.
They have a choice, and that's the words that, Aubrey said, we're gonna give you the words today.
Yes, you will leave with
Those
lots
are
of
the words.
the words to use, yes. Yeah, if I'm, yeah, go ahead.
Aubrey, I'm Doug Barr. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to
To
meet you.
tag on, thank you, to tag on to what you said, you know, my neighbor sold for 110% of asking in 3 days, and they didn't do X, Y, Z to their home,
Right.
right? They always think the add-ons are going to justify
Yes,
their asking.
right, right.
And
And
it might not be worth anything to the next guy coming through. It might be more of a hassle to remove it than a plus.
Yes.
That's what I see.
it's exactly true. And if you're telling otherwise, it's like calling a baby ugly, you know? So you want to agree to them, I love your house, I pay every bit of $525 for it, and this is what the market is telling us it's worth, you know? Here's another tip that's not on here that I've done, if I have somebody that pushes back a lot on price, and I know the market, I know what the numbers are, ran the numbers, I know where it's at. If they're still pushing back and they won't agree to that special stipulation, and by the way, I haven't had anybody disagree with that. I've sold hundreds and hundreds of homes, hundreds and hundreds of listings. I've not had somebody say no to that. They will say no to the time I ask them to do it in. They might not say yes to a week or 14 days, and I say, well, can we do 3 weeks or can we do 30 days? Your decision, right? Okay. But here's another quick tip that I've done to solve that problem. They said no. I said, okay, let's do this. It's not myself, it's not the seller that determines the price, it's the buyer that ultimately determines the price. So let's do this. Let's get a pre-listing appraisal done on the property. I'll reimburse you for half of that at the closing table. And what that does is it's a certified residential appraiser is gonna come by and look at the house. And they're gonna run the numbers, and they're following the same guidelines that the buyer that's gonna come buy it as well will use. And it doesn't matter if it's cash, if somebody's smart enough to save cash, are they typically smart enough to get a sinking appraisal on property? Should be. If you're represented as a buyer, you should be suggesting that, right? If they're getting a loan, they have to get an appraisal. You see what I mean? So now we have this listing appraisal done up front. Now you're up back, you're like, you know, I love the house. I paid $525 for it. And the market is looking like it's saying 500. Let's get this certified residential appraisal done on the property. I'll reimburse you at closing. Now, what am I saying there? If it doesn't close, what do I owe them? You see what I mean? So if we get this done and they still don't agree with the appraiser, they paid for the appraisal up front. Do you see what I mean? I've done that dozens of times too. Is that helpful?
Aubrey, what script do you use if they do pay for appraisal? And they still want to list, let's say, whatever the amount is, $25,000 over the appraisal, pre-appraisal price. Like, what script would you use to kind of try to bring them along? I mean, I guess it's just the same thing.
There, write this down. There's a great book. I'll give you a script in a second. There's a great book. If you have Audible, listen to it in the car where you're driving. I listened to it last week on airplane. It's called The Full Fee Agent. The Full Fee Agent. And it talks about, I have so many good nuggets in there, but are you walking in as the favorite or the fool? That's one of them that talks about. We're not wasting your time. Another one's based on pricing and how you deliver that message to them. So tell me again what they said.
So the appraisal comes in at $425 as a pre-appraisal, but they want to list at, I'm sorry, $425 and they want to list at $450.
Yes, and they won't budge, and they won't put the stipulation in there, right?
Right.
So they're stuck on that. I've used the same script. You've heard Nikki use this before. She got it from, it was probably, oh, this is an old one, Howard Bridge or something like that. It said, I'd rather let you down now than disappoint you later. You know what I mean? Like I pour everything into my listings, marketing, time, energy, and the market's telling us that at 500, I want you to get 500. What I don't want is you to be frustrated with me. So here's what I recommend. If you have another agent that's telling you they'll list it at 525, I'm not willing to do 525, you know, 500 is what it's saying. Go ahead and list with that agent. Here's what I asked you though. Put in that listing agreement that if they ask you to adjust the price, you can automatically cancel the agreement. That way you can come back. Fair enough? Yeah.
That's like on the appraisal, somebody, I know used to say like, if you come to give a price, then let's go ahead and get a price, but if it comes into my price, you pay for it, if it comes in your price, I'll pay for it.
All right, all right, you guys good? Okay, all right, how we doing on time? All right, we're good. Party chatter. So I'm not gonna go through these, like if somebody asked, okay, have you ever been at a party or a get together, and you're just talking with somebody, and they know you're in real estate, what are they eventually gonna ask you? How's the market? How's real estate doing right now? You know, some people are just starting conversation, but other people, unbelievable, but other people are legitimately curious about what's going on. I want to give you some real party chatter, and you go, oh, I'm so excited about this, give you something in this office that makes you guys head and shoulders better than most every other agent in MLS. You're gonna love this in a second. I pulled it up last night. This is what it looks like. I usually say something positive first, right? So I'm so glad you asked. The market's great. Market's on fire, right? It's fabulous. It's wonderful right now. 24% of the homes are still getting full list price in just 9 days. That's a real fact, okay? In just 9 days, and there's only 3.2 months of supply of listings, so it's still a seller's market. That's a positive piece, okay? But you want to give them something that piques their curiosity. You then say, I found something interesting though. You know, Jennifer, did you know that 55% of the homes right now are having to reduce their price to sell, and 38% are not selling? You know, each community is different though, Jennifer, so I'm curious. Why do you ask? And she may just say, I'm just wondering, you know, or what could she say?
I'm thinking of selling.
I'm thinking about, we've been, you know, noodling around with it a little bit, maybe making a move, you know, our kids are getting a little older, and we don't need this house anymore, you know, see what I mean? Make sense? So something positive, you know, and then give them something curious, you know, so 55% of the homes are having to reduce their price and 38 are not selling. Each community is different though, that's true too, you know, I'm curious why you asked. So put your own twist on this, sprinkle your own magic dust on it, if you will. Okay, here's the one I really wanted to show you. I love this, and this is not the case. Even in our own group, you guys are crushing this next one. Okay, you're sitting at a listing table with somebody. They're choosing who to use, you or someone else. This would be a really good one to show. So, who knows the difference between median and average?
Median's in the middle.
Yes, you can say that. Median and middle. Here, so anybody, to make this even more simple, let's say you sold 12 houses a year. And the average price in the MLS is 420 or 430, okay? But then that year out of your 12 houses, you happen to sell, you know, this $3.5 million property. All of a sudden, it looks like your average sales price is 1.1 million, you know, because you sold 12 houses, right? That's not the case. Like usually you sell 400 something, you know? Median is the middle. If you had 12 sales, what's the one in the middle? You see what I mean? That's what median is. So the better indicator of what's really going on, median. Here's why this is powerful. This office, Tampa Properties, take a look at this. So last month, you guys, median got 99.1% of list price in stinking 27 days, okay? The MLS median is 95.5% in 35 days. What's the difference between 95.5 and 99.1? What's the percent difference? 3 point, what do you charge? It's all negotiable, but that's probably more than you're charging your clients. You just justified your fee just by being in this stinking office. Do you see how powerful this is? Right? When your spouse proposed to you, did they say, I want to live an average life, have an average level of happiness, you know, take average vacations and, you know, have an average relationship? Or they say, I want to have a phenomenal relationship. I want to be the happiest couple we could possibly be and live a wonderful life. They said that, right? These numbers show that you are in a wonderful office with wonderful agents that know what the heck they're doing. And if this person wants to get the best chance possible, get the highest price they possibly can, they should probably hire you. Why? Because on average, you're getting 3.6% more money. So what does this look like in a conversation? I told you I'd give you the words to say when you're leaving today, interpret it. What if you could say this? You know, Mr. and Ms. Seller, we bring sellers on average, on median, 3.6% more money for their homes, 23% faster than the normal agent in the MLS. On your $500,000 house, that extra 3% is $18,000 more in your pocket when you're driving away from the closing table. And I'm just curious, Jennifer, if I handed you $18,000 right now, what would you do with it? Where would you go? That's not funny.
I would go back up north, big state.
You need a referral up there. And Jennifer, I want you to have that $18,000. I want you to go take that vacation. You want that too, right? Absolutely. Okay, sign me and get work. You see what I mean? You see how that works? I'm so proud of you guys. You did this. Like 99.1%, that's phenomenal. Way to go. So use this, okay? You can read this later. Okay, I'm gonna skip some of the rest of this stuff. We'll send this out a little bit later. I will say this one. To help you get price reductions, I set all my sellers. If they're looking for a $500,000 property in West Chase, you know, then I'm gonna set them up on a search of everything in the school district, not just that particular neighbor. I use West Chase today, I should have picked a different neighborhood. But I set them up as if I was a buyer, you know, if they're priced at 500, I'd set them up on a search between 450 and 550 in the same school district as them, is a similar type property, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, well, whatever, I'm setting up that kind of a range in that area. I'm checking all the boxes, active, pending, canceled, withdrawn, sold, expired, you follow me? Why? That way they're getting updates on every time something happens, multiple times a week, they're calling me saying, I can't believe that the prices these have sold for lately, and man, that one that was listed at 525, it looks like it didn't even sell. You know, Jen, I think we should probably reduce the price. All right, you know, you see what I mean? Set them up on a portal. So we'll go through more of this stuff another time. You guys can look at it a little bit later. You have the chart, you have the slides. Was this helpful to go through? Good stuff? Okay, good. And I'm happy to stick around a little later. I want to take 5 or 10 minutes because we have some big news that we need to announce. And yeah, okay. All right. I've shared this with your clients. You guys do that? Social media, email, newsletter, when you're having conversations, take pieces of this. Did you know? Or did you hear this? Or, you know, look what I heard this today, right? Share this stuff. Get the word out there. Be the expert. Okay, Cynthia.
Yes, sir.
Can I borrow you for a minute, please?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's grab 2 chairs and no, you
Oh,
first.
here, I can grab those muscles. Amber is freakishly strong.
That's
If you don't know that,
like a 200-pound generator by herself. I'm not even kidding.
it's like, I don't need any help. I don't need any help at all.
I didn't need to be sad, I needed to be strong.
Yes. So, Jennifer, how you doing?
Where's Jen?
I'm sorry. Cynthia, how you doing? Yeah, you're over there. I've been talking to Jennifer all day, so. yes.
Sweater, Jen. By the way.
So Cynthia is someone I have a lot of respect for. She absolutely knows this business inside and out. I've watched her sit down with agents. Here's one thing unique about your office that I don't necessarily get everywhere that I go. I will have people that will tell me, I was just in my meeting with Cynthia. We put together this business plan. I am so excited to put this in place. This girl knows her stuff. It's super smart. So I'm so grateful for who you are. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And thank you for that. It's mutual respect, so thank you.
Cynthia, over the past, I mean, this is something we've been talking about for a little while. You came to me and you shared that you love what you do, right?
Absolutely.
And then you can share as much as you want to. The conversation we had is that there's some things. This is a company. What are the values of our company?
God, family, business.
What's the second one?
Family.
Before business, right? And she has some things going on in her life that are taking some of her time away from being able to be here as much. And you might have seen it. She maybe isn't always here as often as she would like to be. And is came to me with some news. We want to share what the news is.
Yes. You want me to share it?
Yes.
Yes, so in December, actually, before Aubrey came, I talked with Nikki. My mom has had some health challenges. Many of you know that, who know me well. And unfortunately, she doesn't live in the Tampa or Clearwater Largo area. And I said to Nikki, as my mom's health continues to fail, it's important for me to be there for her and for my siblings, support. And I'm concerned that should her health continue to decline, that my responsibilities here are going to be a challenge. And our agents deserve someone who can be here full time to help coach them and develop them. And so I said, I'm giving you my notice in December of last year. And she said, well, how long do I have? And I said, well, how long do you think you need to find a great team leader? She goes, oh, a couple of months. Fast forward, it's the end of October. And good news is that I believe we're at a point now where we have somebody who can take the reins. Aubrey's working on some final things. And so my last day as the team leader, not leaving you, but my last day as the team leader will be November 15th.
Can we take just a moment to give her a round of applause? How many people do you know that give a 10-month notice? We do have a lot of, I have spent probably more than 80, 90, 100 hours in CVs just with team leader candidates. Probably a lot more than that, actually. And I care so much about putting the right person in. And here's the good news, we're not losing Cynthia, she's staying here. She will be in a different capacity, she will be in another leadership type role, helping us out, helping you guys. So she still will be here, so we're not necessarily losing Cynthia, she's still here, we're gonna be gaining another wonderful human, another person that will be able to help you guys. So, before I ask you a couple of questions, I'd love, and maybe I'll start doing this, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask a couple of questions where I'd love for you to do is think for a moment about if Cynthia has had an impact on you and you'd like to share, you know, some gratitude. Maybe there's something she's done, something she said that you feel compelled to share with her in a moment of gratitude. I think that would be wonderful. Jen, go ahead. Yeah.
So, this is really personal, but not long after you came here, I think I was like depressed. Just, I had stuff going on with my family, with my mom, with my brother, and it was really, really impacting me. And I was not in great production with my business. I was just like, I was withdrawn from the office. And I'd only met you a couple of times, but I felt like I was like, I need to talk to someone. And I don't really know, I'm not gonna go to a counselor just yet, but I need to get in production with my business. If I can just kind of jump back into my business, maybe this will, and get into activity, like everything else will just sort of rise up. And I just texted Cynthia. I mean, we had never really met before, but I had an appointment with her and we sat and we talked and I was just honest with her about kind of what I was going through in my life, and no judgment. She just listened, and you've always been that person for me. And what also happened is what I thought would happen is I just kind of put it out there. You helped me kind of get back on track. I knew what the steps were. I just needed someone to sort of guide me. And that's what you did for me. And I'm so grateful because I haven't looked back since.
I love that. Thank you for that.
Your 4 words. Stay sincere, sympathetic, patient, and at the same time, somehow you're from.
Yeah. It hurt, yes.
That's maybe not the part we like so much.
Leadership.
It is leadership. Yeah.
Yes.
Mo Anderson, they call her the velvet hammer.
Velvet hammer, yeah, the velvet hammer.
Thank you.
It's a compliment. Well said, coach. Yeah, yeah. Go here. It's
Cynthia, I've never met you prior to today, excuse me. But I want to encourage you. Not at all about myself, but my wife and I married 20 years ago in Naples, Florida, and almost immediately after marrying, my mother died in Fort Myers. And Kelly's mother was the only parent we had left in Charleston, South Carolina. We moved from Naples to Charleston. Mother lived with us the last 6 years of her life until she was 90. I want to encourage you because neither Kelly or myself hesitate 1 minute that we would do that again. Because it's what we do, right? It's biblical that we do that. And tip of the hat to you, and I'm gonna be praying for you
Thank you so much.
because it's huge what you're doing.
Yeah, relationships are at the heart of everything, right? We do what we do for the people that we love. So, yeah, it's not always easy.
You got this. Yes.
So I haven't known Cynthia for long, because I just recently came back to Columbia, and I've been gone for about a few years, but in my meeting with her about potentially coming back to Columbia, I was so impressed, because it's like that authenticity, that compassion, that firm. And I was so impressed that she spoke about wealth building in our meeting back to me, which is something that, team leads, they do, but, in the first meeting back, I thought that was very powerful, and she's one of the reasons that I came back, and I was like, I love Cynthia. I think this is such a great energy, so I'm really excited to see you go.
Thank you. I'm not leaving. So, yeah, so that's the.
share the good news. I mean, what are you great at? What do you love doing?
Yeah, so the good part is, I love coaching, right? I love consulting. I love helping. I believe that's my purpose, right? That's the reason that I'm here. And I do that with my family a lot. I give them the bold offer. They tell me I'm bullying them. Which is good, right? It's a good thing. And so I'm not leaving. I'm gonna remain as you know, be part of our coaching program in some capacity. I'm a coach agents. I'm gonna get to travel and teach. That's what I love to do and affect change. And I'm staying, like, I'm keeping my license, like, the good thing is I'll be able to be in Orlando for a week while my brother travels and someone needs to stay with my mom, you know, and I can take her on doctor's appointments and still be able to coach and consult and teach and train. So I'm just not gonna be the team leader, which will allow me actually a little bit more time to dig into the relationships here. Do a little bit more and add a little bit more.
Still need that coaching.
So I'll be right there at your door.
Motivated to take some coaching off of this.
Yeah, I'm here for you, 100%.
Yes.
So, I always get to appreciate you when I see you in the office and you've always got something good to say, you know, I think of the time when you were complaining about me. And I know being a TL is, I've been probably manager sometimes, thankless job. But you bring, you know, grace and class to the position and we have the whole time we've been there, so I appreciate that.
Thanks.
You know, like Gary talks about juggling 7 balls, right? And, you know, some of them you can drop and they bounce back, and work is one of those, right? It's business is one of them. And, you know, I'm getting that lesson now, not kind of the way you are yet, but, you know, I think it's not too far off. But, you know, I have a 3-year-old and 2-year-old, so, and they got a lot of school things going on, I mean, because of the type of job I have. I'm kind of able to do that, I want to, which is super cool. So family is super important, and it's become more important to me, especially with little ones. So I think that's one of the ones that doesn't bounce back. So we gotta,
Right.
it's like Gary says, you know, people believe time moves like this, and it doesn't, it moves like this. Right? There's an expiration date, so you better get in as much as you can, you know, and do what your thoughts.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's about having those balls, right?
Yeah.
And if in this hand, it's family and God and our health and all the things that we love. And on this side are our job, our work, the things that we still love. And yet if these balls are rubber and these balls are glass, when these balls drop, there's no putting them back together. And as my mom's 83, and as she gets older and older, I don't know, I just feel that that's where I need to be when I need to.
I appreciate it.
We're here and then.
Julie, don't make me cry. I already like you tearing up.
I actually started it, so,
Yeah, too.
no, you know, my mom died at 66. She died 4 months after I started as a realtor here. And if I could go back and I would charge up every credit card I could and just be broke to take care of her. So it's the right thing to do. And we are so fortunate in this office. We've had you, we've had Hudson, we've had Kimberly. And I'm so thankful because I would not see it anymore. And you are part of the bond that has kept me here and has kept everything here. And, you know, I appreciate you. We've had some intense conversations. You've been through a lot with me, especially last year. And I just appreciate you so much because real estate's so stinking hard. And I know that I can come in here and you can make hamburger. And I appreciate people in this office. I really do. I appreciate for it. And the friends in here and, you know, and Paul. Oh my God, like Paul is, like Paul helped me when my very first listing or second listing going, I put the wrong price and I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. And he's like, you know, but I appreciate you so much. And, you know, we're here for you. You know, thank you for everything.
Thank you for it. It's mutual, right? You get, you know, we get so much from people. Thank you.
So I started here May 2023, and in June, my sister, my best friend, was diagnosed with breast cancer. And starting with, when she finally had surgery, she had a phone text me, and the first person to reach out to me was Cynthia, and she sent this huge amount of food over to our house so that we wouldn't have to cook, and that's who she is. That is who Cynthia is, and not just to people she works with, but to everybody she meets. So I appreciate you.
Well, I'm
not
telling
just
you,
for
so we
that,
gotta
but-
feed you. It doesn't matter. Whether you're sick or happy or sad, it doesn't matter. Food just seems to make everything better. So,
Thank you.
Here in the back.
No, I didn't think I cried.
It's not fair, see, because when you cry, I cry.
I know, I'm a group crier, sorry. We're gonna hate to see you not be our leader. You've done so much for the office and the friendship you and I have built. I'm glad tonight you're still gonna be around. But it is the most important thing. When my dad got sick, I left for a week every month and flew to Colorado. Because I knew we probably had a year, so for a year I was gone for a week from my business. Because that's what's important, so you're doing what's the right thing, but you'll be great with this.
Thank you. Well, I just think I'll have more time to do the things that I want to do, with the people I want to do them too. Meaning like, when you all work really hard, then you go celebrate, and have your happy hours, and we're all here till, burn the midnight hour, and I'm like, I see the pictures and I can't join, so there'll be more opportunities. So thank you for your friendship.
My name is Wilson. I just started my career in real estate. However, 2 years ago, I decided to move from Manhattan, New York City, to Tampa, Florida, the same situation to be around my mother. As a contractor for 28 years, I was really rocking and all of a sudden this finally, I was just hitting these benchmarks. Life was amazing, it still is. I only decided to join this office after interviewing with like 10 different realtors. I was gonna sign with Douglas Sullivan on Longbow Key, and the only reason I decided to sign here was
Well, I'm not leaving you, Wilson, don't worry.
so,
I'm still here. I'm not leaving you. I'll have more time to
So-
coach you and consult you.
yeah, so I get
All right, well, I know we're being a little long. I know we have a contest to do. Here's what I encourage you to do. If you wanted to say something and didn't get a chance to, Cynthia would love to see you. Come pop by her office over the next few weeks while she's officially in that office, and just feel some comfort knowing we're not losing her. She's gonna be here in a different capacity. She'll still help you and she'll teach classes. She'll still coach people, so she'll still be here. So one more time, give her a round of applause. You want to take off from here the rest of the meeting?
I think the last part really is celebration.
All right.
So we're gonna pick a contest, winner for costumes. So everyone who's dressed today and would like to participate, come on up and line up, and then we're gonna vote on the best costume. We have a prize, I think we have a prize, right? Do we have a prize?
Yeah, that's.
And that's a prize.
Our lunch.
Oh, and I'm sponsored too. Edgar from Matt's Home Inspection. So Edgar, we're gonna pick up a winner and you come talk to us.
I get to pick.
Cynthia, I want you to read Raquel's message. I didn't want to read it out.
What is it?
So Raquel.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, honey.
Hey, I sent you a message. I did also texted you, but it basically says that you are the first person to embrace me and challenge me to live up to my potential here at Keller. And I was with another brokerage, and although I knew that you were trying to recruit agents, you connected with me on a personal level. And I've shed tears with you because I was going through some really hard stuff when I started, but I appreciate you. So you can just read the rest later, but just want to say I love you and I'm proud of your hard decisions. Yes.
Raquel, thank you so much, honey. I'm not going anywhere either. I'm staying in a coaching capacity and a
Yeah,
teaching.
I
trainer.
know.
So let's chat. Let's chat.
Yes.
You're gonna
Okay.
vote. I appreciate you. You made
All
me.
right.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. Oh, well, we're not completely.
Why don't we get a picture of that?
Oh, you're the biggest. Oh, well, hold on, I have to go to work.
You have to have your emotion on your face.
Well, it's hard to be angry because I'm happy.
Okay, all right.
Say that doesn't fit.
I hear you.
Amber, how are we doing the voting? How do we do this?
All right, take a show of hands.
Okay, and I want to make sure we honor our blood sponsor.
What do you get?
Oh, yeah.
You get $20. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's vote for the best costume. Is that all right? Nobody else wants to participate? All right, so we're gonna vote for this green, I don't know what it is. A round of applause for our Indian.
Fake news.
All right, sponsor, I know we're running late, please talk to our team and thank you for providing delicious lunch for our folks. Cause we love.
All right, everybody, we're gonna hang out. Thanks for being here. Recording will be posted later.
My name is Edgar Montero with Maximum.
Thank you.
I also have a-
You didn't see me do this.
Uh-oh.
So Max